I was texting you. How could you tell if I'm being sarcastic over text?
The context.
Do you want to do this? No. Hey, you want to go get a beer? No.
Yeah, I'll go get a beer with you. Sure, that sounds great. When do you want to do it?
It looks like you got a haircut. No, it does. It really does.
But I didn't.
It's just spiky. It's spiky.
Well, I just, I rolled out of bed, and there it is.
Are you all ready for your wedding?
No.
What do you mean, no?
But
it's coming up very soon.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not all ready. That'll be...
Why not?
The day it happens is the day I'll be all ready.
Oh, I see. You hope.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, let me know how I can help out. Hey, we're going to Great America.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
And there better be strippers.
Yeah, it's really first of all, it's really expensive to get strippers for the day to follow you around Great America, and they have to wear masks, so it's no fun.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think it's so you actually did look into that.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Of course.
But I don't think that
it is your bachelor's party.
But no, I don't want that. I want the whole park to be closed down and rented just for us.
Check.
And the staff to be populated by strippers. Like just and so they will operate the rides.
How much do you have to? Do you still have to put you still have to put money in their G-string in order to get a dance?
Well, I'm assuming that if
can you get a lap dance on the Raging Bull? That's the big question.
I am the Raging Bull. That's what I would say to the stripper. It's really...
Welcome to the podcast.
You also are welcome to the podcast. What you heard at the beginning was the group The Unpoetic with their hit single, "The fact that you and I are no longer romantically involved is causing me to experience extremely negative emotions."
Huh.
And I actually really like them because I really like it when I can understand what they're saying with the lyrics. Because, a lot of songs you're like, what the hell is this song about?
Yeah,
but they're very, very clear. So I like that.
It makes sense. It makes sense. That really goes right along with our last group, the tautological group. That was really good.
Yeah.
Tautology was the album. That was the album. I remember.
Is that what it was? I don't have it in front of me. I mean, wow, you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're paying attention. This is.
That's right.
I'm glad because I was worried you would just. I'm glad you. I was worried that you would think of these anytime I announced these songs that you would just think it was a big joke. But I'm glad you're actually paying attention.
I know how much work you put into them.
Yeah.
Of course I pay attention. Good. Oh, don't you think I'm a good podcasting co-host?
Yeah, this is original fact reporting.
Yes, that's right. That's right. What do you want to talk about today?
Reuters report and the Associated Press report second on these bands. You hear it from me first. So.
I've met some of their reporters, and they're always like, "Damn, how does he get the scoops? How does he know what's going to be hot before we do? It's impossible." Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm that good.
What do you want to talk about today?
What do you mean? What do I want to talk about?
I've got.
Do you have a presentation prepared?
I do.
Oh, good.
No, I actually have some important science news, which I find to be interesting.
Okay. We do a lot of science news. Because I was joking about this thing. That's not. We got to change it up. We got to do something where we tell people what's the best mascara or something.
I don't actually wear makeup. I don't.
What?
I'm sorry.
That's so unprofessional. This is a professional show.
I know.
All right.
I know. Scientists find liquid water inside a meteorite, revealing clues about the early solar system. And I found this to be really interesting because there's this long-standing hypothesis about how Earth got its water, and that comets or asteroids smacked them into Earth enough, and each of them was carrying water, and somehow that was enough to like fill all the oceans. And that seems ridiculous, like at its face, because if you think about how many meteorites we're talking about, like how much smashage would need to occur, that's the official term, would need to occur, it seems ridiculous. However, these little tiny meteorites, they've got liquid water inside of them, and so that hypothesis seems more and more believable.
Yeah, because obviously you're talking about a cosmic timeline here. So even if
that's right,
we only see one of these hit Earth in our lifetime or something, that doesn't necessarily mean it wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't done the math. So maybe over a billion years or something, or however long that could be.
That's
enough.
a long time. It turns out that's such like a ridiculous amount of time. And anyway, these meteorites are called carbonaceous chondrites, which is a great word. And they have liquid.
Damn it! That's the name of the band we were gonna go out with. At the end of the episode.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
I didn't. You'll have to find a different song while we're in the middle of the podcast.
Quickly.
No, it'll be fine.
Miley Cyrus. Anyway.
Carbonaceous chondrites are filled with water, and the water, and they've hypothesized these exist, but this is the first time they've actually found them. And they found this meteorite, which was landed on Earth in 2012. In Sacramento, California, the Sutter's Mill meteorite. And they opened it up and they discovered liquid water inside, and they were like, ta-da! Look at that.
But see, this theory doesn't answer anything. Now you have to just remove the question one spot and say, well, how did the water get on the meteorites? on the
aliens. Obviously.
No. little like asteroidal pebbles have hit the meteorites that contained water, and that's how the water collected in the meteor. Well, they're meeting. There's an alien's coming around with a big syringe,
like slowly injecting each meteorite with a little bit of water.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming the astronomers are still concluding that it all started with the Lord God, our Father, the Creator.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Naturally.
So that'll just, you know, that answers the final question.
Yes. Anyway, that's the science news of the day, and I found it really interesting, and I'm glad I got to share it with you and you all.
It's God, it wasn't that interesting.
Feedback from our actual podcast somehow makes it into the podcast. How is that possible?
Man, I had better science news than that. Anyway, we'll probably let's hope the Mad Hat will provide us with something actually interesting to talk about.
I mean, it always does. It never fails to allow us to talk about something.
But first, this podcast was brought to you by 37. Are you one of millions of Americans still fussing with numbers like 4, 86, 11,689,233, and the square root of 92? Well, now there's 37. 37 is a multi-purpose, non-negative integer between 26 and 71, which directly follows 36 and precedes 38, leaving behind the easy-to-guess beginner nature of single-digit even numbers like 2 and 6, while avoiding the headache of irreducible fractions, imaginary numbers, and non-terminating decimals. No more dictating endless streams of non-repeating digits or memorizing formulas represented by obscure Greek alphabet letters. Unlike those frustrating irrational numbers like the golden ratio or Euler's number, 37 is a natural number, so it's both cardinal and ordinal, great for counting and numerical ordering. In fact, counting to 37 can be done in as little as 7.9 seconds for when you're on the go. The point is, 37 keeps things simple so you can focus on the things that really matter. But don't let 37's simplicity fool you. As the 12th prime number, 37 protects you from unwanted would-be dividers. In fact, each of the 2 digits used to represent 37 are themselves primes for added security. And 37 is fully permutable with 73, able to withstand an anagrammatic shift without losing its prime status. And to top it off, 37 is a lucky prime, a Cuban prime, a unique prime, and even qualifies as an irregular prime, giving 37 plenty of functionality for even the most advanced of users. 37 has a rich history as both a Stormer number and an integral contributor to Waring's problem. And in celebrating its 25-year anniversary this year as a proud member of the Padovan sequence, 37 is fully immersed in the contemporary mathematical community. And as the official atomic number for rubidium, 37 is a proud sponsor for laser cooling, Bose-Einstein condensation, and purple fireworks. Plus, 37 is a centered hexagonal number, which means better space efficiency for your 37-strand cable manufacturing needs. And if you're feeling decorative, 37 is also a star number. Come see why millions of Americans are making 37 their go-to integer. All you need to get started is 11 and 26, or even just 41 and an ordinary pair of subtractor scissors from our online store. Just set our easy-to-use handle dial to 4 and you'll be on your way to 37 heaven. And cleanup is a snap. Simply remove the 7 headpiece and the main unit folds neatly into 3 sections for easy 10x1 storage. Still not convinced? Listen to some of our customer testimonials. Matt Handley from Wichita, Swaziland says, I'm I'm 37 now, and I feel great. Matt Glaz from Yorkshire, Bangladesh, raves, nothing could have better prepared me for 38 than 37's 12-month program. I'm confident I have the skills I need to succeed in remaining alive for a 39th consecutive year. And Nigel Ginzel-Stevens-Rathbone from East Westington, North Sutherland, had this to say, my internal body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade, and my doctor says that's a normal internal body temperature. So what are you waiting for? Start using 37 today. Just bellow the number 37 thunderously into the heavens exactly 37 times in succession, and watch in an awestruck stupor as the terrifying 37th phantom of the mathematical ether world descends like fire upon you. 37. Simple, powerful, numerical. Use only as directed. Modifying 37 from its original form voids all warranty. Removing 1 from 37 will result in a figure highly divisible by 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, and 18. If you experience symptoms of arithmophobia while using 37, discontinue use and consult with a psychiatric professional immediately.
I'm really glad they're our sponsor because I know how popular 37 is.
Yeah.
You ask people about 37 all the time. They're like, yeah, 37, absolutely.
Well, and
what's your favorite two-digit number? They're like 37.
This is a little awkward because I know they're our sponsor and everything, but I kind of wanted an honest opinion from you because I know you have a degree in mathematics, right?
I do. So
I don't know. I mean, is this like snake oil or is 37 really like that good?
It's okay. It's good.
Okay.
It's good. Like I stand by the claims made in the ad. That's okay.
Okay.
It's definitely I would say it's worth the price. I'd also say it's very versatile. So
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Though I would say it's pronounced Euler, not Euler. And
God,
and you've lost all your credibility as a result.
Well, that's not the sponsor's fault. That's Euler's fault. Anyway,
oh, it's the sound. It's that sound again.
It's the sound of a Mad Hat.
Just salivating.
Awakening. I coax it out of its cage with.
Come here. It's okay. Come here.
I don't know what.
Okay.
What do Mad Hats eat? I mean, nobody. You'll never find out.
No, it's the last thing we'll find out.
Yeah. Okay, and the shitty question for today is, what's your favorite?
No. Whoa.
What's that?
Unacceptable. I don't want to deal with any bad questions. Only good questions.
Okay. The question is, did the oceans of Earth start because of meteorites? No. Okay. The question is.
Why, yes, they did.
The question is, what's your favorite kind of weather?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I know what yours is.
I mean, you don't. What do
yeah,
you mean?
you wrote a whole song about it.
Well, oh, well. Oh, God. Do I have to play that song on the podcast? No, anyway, so.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I wrote a song called
Yes.
Summer Rain.
Yes, you have to play
it's
it.
about summer. No, it's about the summer.
You have to play an excerpt.
It raining.
You have to play just one excerpt.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
You're
yes.
going to give me
okay,
more editing
good.
to do in the next 3 hours.
Yes.
Here's an excerpt from my song, Summer Rain.
Yes.
I like to take a walk in this bright blue summer rain. I'd love to take a walk on a rainy summer day. I know that deep inside there's a light that shines my way. My skies are fair in the open air of your clouded gray. Oh, rain, rain, won't you stay another day?
Okay, that was it.
It was worse than I remembered.
It was just as bad as I remember it. So yeah, I like rain. I like thunderstorms. I like a big giant when the sky turns black, and I particularly like it in the summer when it's like I know it's not cold and I could run out naked and run in the rain, which has gotten me arrested 4 times in 3 different countries. But so I do like that. I also like when it's. I mean, I think the problem is it also depends on what kind of situation I'm in. Like if I have to go to work or something, there are certain kinds of weather I don't like because I have to work in it or commute in it or something. But if I'm on vacation, then I like certain kinds of weathers. Like I definitely do like that gloomy, even just like the light rain or like an overcast cloudy day where it's like an overcast cloudy fall day where you can kind of just even not going out in it, but you sit and you don't go outside and don't look at the weather, but just knowing it's there. That kind of weather.
So you like just being able to waste it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
you like having a nice day that you can avoid by being inside and just waste.
Yes, those are my favorite kinds of weather.
It.
Is the kinds where I don't have to actually be out in it. It's such a first world answer to this question.
Yours is
it's not like what's my favorite kind of weather? The kind that makes the crops grow. No, the kind where I can just kind of play video games and
and think about how nice it would be to be outside.
Yeah.
Had I a life where that was a reasonable possibility. All right, next level.
Yeah.
I am offended by your answer, but I also disagree because I like being outside in the weather. And the funniest thing, so I work with a lot of people who live in California where there is no weather, where the temperature only goes between 55 and 80 degrees.
Yeah.
And so the most exciting thing to happen to these people in California is when it rains.
Yeah.
They're like, what is happening? Like, why is the sky wet and why is the ground wet? And it's very weird. And so to them, to people who maybe you're listening and you don't actually have weather where you are, but where Matt and I live. Here in the Midwest, we have weather, and the weather changes all the time, and you don't even know. Like for example, last week it was 80 degrees, and today it was 40 degrees. And why that is just stupid. But it's true, and you don't even know what the weather's going to be like. So in the Midwest, you get exposed to a lot of different kinds of weather. Mm-hmm. You get exposed to the kind of hail where it's just tiny little pea-sized things that hit you. You get exposed to tornadoes. You get exposed to 120-degree days where your face is melting and you wish everything. You go outside for a few seconds and your skin burns and you're like, why, why did I go outside and not just stay inside playing video games? I have a vast experience with weather.
Actually, I must confess, I've never actually been exposed to a tornado. I will say that.
Sure. I mean, because you were clothed at the time.
Right, right.
Yeah, and that right. Okay, I understand.
And it ripped off my clothes, but by then it was gone. So
right.
I don't know
so
if it counts.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah,
So
stuff.
anyway, now I'm picturing you naked, which is uncomfortable. I don't know why you brought that up.
That was
Anyway,
the second time I talked about myself naked, so it's kind of a subliminal thing I've got going here. The great thing
All
is the
those years of
listeners can
conditioning.
picture me naked, and they can picture whatever they like. You know,
That's true. That you're much more attractive to the listeners. Anyway, so what I'm saying is, back to the thing I want to talk about,
Anyway.
is that I've exposed to a lot of different kinds of weather, and my favorite kind of weather is in the low mountains on a warmish day. It's like 75 degrees, and there's a thunderstorm coming, and you feel the temperature drop and the pressure drop because of the thunderstorm coming, and just before it rains, in that moment where it's like warmish, there's a breeze blowing, but it's more still than it was, and it's more still than it will about to be, and it's not quite yet raining, but right in that moment, that like breath that the sky takes before you get covered in rain or covered in exciting lightning or something, that is my favorite weather. And that's also true. And that moment is most easily experienced in the mountains, but you can it can happen in a lot of places. So even in the plains here, or by the beach on the ocean, that's also very exciting when that happens. It's just not as impressive.
I think I like that too. I agree with you. I think that's part of my sort of thunderstorm experience. I think part of what I like about that. There's the answer has changed in my life because I used to like when I was a kid, my favorite season was the summer because I associated it with vacation and having fun and stuff.
Right.
But now that's not relevant, and so now, and the thing is, I have to work outside, and so that really affects things. So like, there's these practical reasons where I don't want it to snow, I don't want it to be hot, and so like, the answer is it's more complicated for me now, but I think lately I like maybe like my favorite season is like fall. I love the, not just the kind of pretty color of the leaves or whatever, but it's also just kind of that like that cooler weather. Like probably my favorite weather to be outside in is something like 50 or 60 degrees or something, and just like and like. I think I still like it to be cloudy. I don't know. Sometimes, and at that time, especially if it's in that time of year, it's like, ooh, this is nice. And when it's that kind of weather, then I don't want it to rain. I don't want it to be, the whole thunderstorm thing is like an exception, or like sitting at home and having an inside day. Then I'm okay with it raining. But I think there is one kind of weather.
Wait. My second favorite weather, which you didn't ask about, is when it's warm in the sun and cold in the shade, and so like it's like right in that in between space at like 70 some degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm sitting like at a picnic on a hill of green with perfect blue sky with puffy white clouds in the distance, and it feels like I'm literally in some Miyazaki anime. Or I'm in some beautiful painting or something, and like, and that is my second favorite weather. I love that weather.
I don't like that weather.
I know, because you're so pasty, you burn.
Well,
just like even a few seconds
suppose,
outside.
But
that's why you wear that helmet. That's why you wear that helmet, right? Everywhere you go.
I wear like a welder's shield.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
It's also to intimidate my murder victims, though. That's the other.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I don't like that weather. I mean, I think I'd more like the types of weather that match my dark soul. So
that makes sense.
But there
storms that turn to ice that like freeze up, and then it's not, even though it's not really its fault, but the girl still leaves you and you don't really know why. That kind of weather.
Yeah, when you're sitting staring out the window and the rain is pattering on the glass and you're thinking about the all the good times you thought you had together, but it turns out she was lying the whole time. Anyway,
that's right. And the phone's sitting there, no one's calling.
Yes, but. And then someone does call, and you quickly rush because you think it might be her begging for you to come back. But instead, it's I don't know. I can't think of a good cliche of who it would actually be. But
Hi.
But
do you have a need of extended car warranty?
Yeah, no, it's like a bill collector. You know, that's what it's
that's
actually
right.
is.
There you go. That kind of weather. That's your favorite kind of weather.
But I have to say that I'm going to mention a weather that I really don't like. My least favorite, and I don't know why this is, but this doesn't happen very often, and it's always really weird when it happens. But when it's raining and the streets are wet, but it's sunny. There's something really disturbing to me about that weather. I feel like this intense sense of dread. I must have had some kind of traumatic childhood experience that happened during that kind of weather that I blocked out or something, because every time that happens I have this internal reaction of like, ugh. Not even
like you look outside and then you see like the tripods of War of the Worlds walking across and you're like, yes, this makes sense.
Not just when it doesn't actually have to be raining. Like if it has just rained, it was like a brief rain, and then the clouds roll away and the sun comes out. And I mean, okay, sometimes there's a rainbow when that happens, and that's pretty. But like the just when you're looking at the feel of the world when all the streets are wet, the ground is wet, but the sun is out. And shining on you when you're not, that's it's horrible. It's sickening. It makes me extremely depressed and terrified.
Wow,
and
that's not my reaction.
And I don't know why.
My third favorite weather, which you also didn't ask about, is
well, the question didn't ask about it. Look at what it says. It says, "What is your favorite kind of weather?"
I know, but
that's
I'm telling you anyway. My third favorite weather is any weather that is remarkably destructive. Or big, or whatever, like like crazy heavy rains, or hailstorms, or tornadoes, or hurricanes, or whatever. Those are, or crazy windstorms or anything. I find those. I've been caught up in some of those things, but they've never hurt me, and maybe that's why.
Right.
But I always feel like those are just awesome in every way, and I love those.
Yeah, well, I think you and I are in agreement about that, because that's where my love of, I think, big thunderstorms comes from, that kind of thing. So I agree about that part, but I don't like sunny weather. That's not true though. I mean, I have like, I think if it's been like cold and like it's been like a long winter or something, and then suddenly the weather breaks and it's like really warm outside and it's really nice and sunny, then I feel really good, But it's kind of, it depends on my mood. That's the problem with this question too. Is like sometimes I like this kind of weather and sometimes I like something else. So
well, clearly that weather isn't your favorite.
No,
because your favorite is good regardless of mood. Like favorite weather is the one where you have it. And then afterwards, you're like, I could have that weather again right now.
Yeah.
Like, here's some delicious ice cream. Do you want more? Yes.
There's another particular moment, because you've been so specific in describing like particular moments. And so there's like a.
I mean, it's just because I'm more thoughtful and
shut up.
Specific. Okay.
I have, I've, as a kid or like as a young adult or something, I would, I would stay up all night or whatever a lot, and sometimes I'd go over to a friend's house and we'd kind of stay up all night playing video games or something. And there's like this particular moment, like just before dawn. It's really
the witching hour.
It has to be when I'm indoors though. Like when
you're talking about the witching hour.
Am I?
Yes.
What is that? The witching hour?
Called. Yes. The hour is right before dawn. Isn't that the best? Isn't that the best name? That's the best name.
Well, I mean, I kind of see sometimes when the dawn starts coming, I get because I love night. I love the nighttime. So I love being
Right.
up at night. I feel like I'm enclosed in a wonderful little space bubble. That's my own private world, and it feels cozy. And then I see the sun start coming out. I'm like, oh God, the day is starting. That's horrible. And so sometimes I don't like that, especially if I'm outside to see it. But there, like, I have a couple of specific experiences where, like, I'm like inside. I'm like, I don't know, up all night playing video games or something, and then like I don't even know what time it is. And then I look and like maybe there's like shears or some kind of curtains that aren't like, you know, blackout drapes or anything. And I see that it's getting lighter, just barely. And I look around the room and there's like this still dark, like gray haze. And there's something really cool about that kind of moment to me. And that's less weather and more just like time of day, I guess. But this question made me think about that.
In folklore, the witching hour or devil's hour is a time of night, typically between 3 and 4 a.m., that is associated with supernatural events, whereby witches, demons, and ghosts are thought to appear and be at their most powerful. Black magic is thought to be most effective at this time due to the veil between worlds being thinner. The term now has a widespread colloquial and idiomatic usage that is associated with human physiology and behavior to more superstitious phenomenon, such as luck.
Well, I understand why that... Excuse me, I have terrible, terrible things happening inside my body.
That's okay.
I know I can totally understand that it's that time has gotten that reputation because it does feel like a very magical time for me, a time of day. Mm-hmm. And then night brings you back, day back brings you back into reality. Sometimes night also puts me in these, it's kind of weird because I wake up to go to work at 2 a.m. and then I'm on my way to work. Because you have a terrible job, yes. And in that regard, it's terrible. But like, it's weird because I wake up and like, I feel, that's like the time when, a lot of the time I have some kind of weird dark thoughts, like, or like this kind of nostalgia that's like not a good kind of nostalgia. Like I think, I guess it's nostalgia, whatever, but it's like thinking back on these times years ago and I go, oh God, I miss that time. I want to go back to that time. And then like, sometimes that feeling stays with me, like while I'm starting work, the first few hours, I'm like loading my truck, making my deliveries. And then when the sun starts coming out, like those feelings go away. And I suddenly like, it's like my psyche wakes up into the real world, into the present. And I've noticed over the years how much like stuff like that, like the daylight and I guess the weather too, just like affects what you actually feel and think in a given moment.
That was a great question. That was a good answer as well.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about a lot of things and I feel like I learned a lot about you.
Hey, wait. But no, I just remembered something.
Uh-oh.
Because you told me something once.
Oh no.
But you probably don't want to say it.
This is the problem when we've known each other for too long. What did I say?
You told me years ago, and you I never told this to anyone because I think you told me not to. It was like a secret.
Oh no.
So you're probably not going to want to say it.
Probably not.
I'll probably cut it out. You told me about a
Oh no.
That pertains to the weather.
Oh, we can't talk about
But you
No. We can't talk about it with the podcast because otherwise people will wonder how sane we are.
Oh. Okay.
They'll put us in a mental institution.
Well, I use to do the production side of
That's
this
true.
podcast.
You are I have to say people have complimented the podcast in a number of ways and never about the content, only about the quality of the production. So really, I'm like, oh, did you, this is how it goes. I go like, oh, I got this podcast. Did you listen to it? And they're like, oh yeah, I did. it sounds great. It's really produced well. And I'm like, oh, awesome. That's so great. And they're like, yeah. Yeah.
I gotta go.
Yeah. Just a little.
Well, but I mean, so that, okay, well, that makes me feel good. But on the other hand, I write some of the content for the website, for the podcast. So I feel terrible about myself now. I think I'm gonna go. God, I wish it were raining. You know, I was just thinking that I don't know how to like market this particular episode, because we can't just say we talked about the weather, because that's not going to be very.
Yes. No. It's just. That just shows how far we've fallen. They're just like, we're just talking about the weather now. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Episode. This is actually. Maybe we should have said this in the beginning, but this is our 10th episode.
Well, is it?
Well, it depends how you count. So, of course, there's the secret first episode that we'll never show to anybody.
That's the secret first episode. So, including that one, yeah.
But then we had a bonus emergency episode.
That's right. So this actually, if you include the special secret first episode, would be our 10th official episode.
Right.
It's actually either the 10th or the 11th, but
right.
Yeah. But it's our 10th. Let's say it. There's no beating around the bush here.
Yeah, I know. You should feel really proud. We've done this 10 times now.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've really enjoyed it.
I won't be happy until we get to our 37th episode. And then we have to end the show.
I do feel like there's a little bit of emptiness in my life until we get to the 37th.
Yeah. Anyway, we're done talking. This is getting so bad. We're done.
Well, how are we gonna? What are we gonna listening to on the way out?
Well, we're gonna listen to something, but I just want to say thank you for whoever's left, and thank you to whoever's left. And
thank you for liking, subscribing to our YouTube channel.
That's right, which doesn't exist. And if you want
and clicking the bell icon,
if you want to submit a topic to the Mad Hat for possibly being, for consideration for us to talk about, you can submit that by going to our website at madhatters.com.
MATTHATTERS.com.
Oh, you're so good at spelling that. And clicking on the email link and emailing us. And thanks for listening. And to send you off here, we're going to listen to a song by the group Careful Promiscuity. And this is their song, Baby, I'll Bet You've Never Seen Negative STI Test Results Dated This Recently. I sort of wash my hands of things when I'm communicating with people via text.
Like Pilate.
People get so caught up into exactly, like Pontius Pilate. I'm a Pontius Pilate texter. Because like Clarice will people always ask me like, okay, they responded like this and And should I respond like this? What do you think they're saying really, though? And I'm like, I don't know. It's a fucking text. You just respond to what they said. And then if they didn't mean that, that's their own fault. The ball's in their court. You know what I mean? And
Listen, if you have I don't have any communications problems. You have a communication problem.
yeah. What do you think this is? A two-way street?